Hi there, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Pillars of Eternity. On the last episode, we ended up in Brackenbury, inside the Sanitarium, and we will continue there. Um, Maybe we'll get some more questies in the Sanitarium, and then we'll move on. Um, yes, I want to try and finish Brackenbury today, and then move on to the next area. So, let's see how far we get. Okay, let's see what we've got. Go to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries in Copper Lane. Go to the Scrivener's Dormitory in Copper Lane. Travel to the cave from Ferriga's Vision. Retrieve Helix research from Modred's laboratory. Bring Penhelm Abadaver to Curran. Travel the cliffs you saw in the vision. Yeah, I need to figure that out. When you examined the base, it felt like I was standing on top of the breeze. Suggested heavy wagon traffic, so this must be somewhere inside Defiance Bay. Explore the endless paths, yes. Explore the endless paths, yes. Continue to get to know Durance. Travel with her to the records archive. Yes. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, nice. We just loaded now with a quick save. Hold on.
I'll give it a try, as requested.
Patient record. Okay. Let's give this to him. Question animals about the species. Talk to all Ethamore about Azu. Okay. Subject is female, mid-40s, awakened to the past life as a serial murderer, which now frequently emerges as the soul's dominant personality. Subject vacillates between violence and severe depression resulting from guilt of the past deeds. Weak candidate for present research. Subject is male, mid-20s, displays acute dissociation and paranoid delusional tendencies, causing anger and extreme violence. Danger of working with the subject preclude possibility of further use in present research. Subject is male, approximately early 30s, powers of speech absent, presumably as a result of the overfragmentation of his soul. As such, he is the ideal subject for present research. However, experimentation has caused severe pain and inducing panic, and I've had to enlist the aid of the guards and transporting him for more recent procedures. Subject is a male, approximately 17 years of age, admitted for episodes of catatonia, followed by occasional violent outbursts. Initial analysis of soul revealed severe fragmentation and essence deficiency. Said deficiency all but eliminates the possibility of utilizing the subject in present research. Okay, who you is?
Hey there.
Who you is?
Hello.
A young Orlan woman traces her fingers along the spines of the books in front of her, row by row, her motions quick and skittish like a bird. She does not notice you until you are nearly upon her. Oh my, you startled me. Are you supposed to be in here? What do you do here? I mostly help Master Azo set up and clean his equipment. I also keep his office organized since he's too busy to do it himself. If there's nothing else, I need to get back to work. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. Me, I'm just Master Azo's assistant. But there's a visiting scholar from Reviewer here named Bella Siege. She claims to know about them. Okay then. Ripley, I acquire more copper tubing for my next experiment. Do not requisition it from the Sanitarium stores. I don't have the time to deal with the head warden's inevitable questions.
Hey there.
Sometimes we got people here trying to make trouble for the animancers. Okay. Do I? No, I don't. Darwin is paralyzed, afflicted with boiling pustules of foul-smelling liquid that erupts from the skin, thickening those nearby. I've got mirror image roll. No. Yeah, that's about it. I don't like the ones that I've got.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Hey there.
How do you do?
Wait.
Sure.
What's the guy with the most lore?
Yes?
I think it's him.
Welcome!
I found records that Adam may be running some questionable experiments. Cademan also is in charge of patient welfare now. He is not authorized to run any more experiments. I am disappointed in Cademan. I've hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in his office or in the patient ward. I am granting you immediate access so you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak to him further on this matter, and I, for one, am curious as to know what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask also that you do your best not to agitate the patients. They have enough troubles as is.
Yeah?
I don't know why these games always have like something like a sanitarium and places like this. Always. There's always some scary partners. Yeah, open that door. Don't make me ask again. Holy shit, what the fuck is this? Oh, sanitarium guard. Flesh construct. Patient. A curved spine twists this woman's posture forward, her greasy hair draped over her large eyes like vines. She smiles at you. You must be visiting someone. Then, noting your appearance, she adds, a friendly visit, I hope. What do you know about the animancer also? Oh, I like you very much. Many animancers would care less about their patients. Look at us like vermin for their experiments, but Master Isaac treats us like humans, even the very sick. You can tell he does this to help people. He helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. What happened to Ozo? Farrell's eyes dart back and forth, and her voice lowers to just above a whisper. They don't like to talk about it, but there was an accident. He was said to be one of the brightest in Deerwood. That was his reputation here, and that was what brought him me to seek his treatment. People say it was ego that drove him to try and solve the legacy, but that's hogwash. Even if he was a bit of a showman, he loves his homeland. He thought he would help. He could help. He wasn't one to speak of words. Suspected his colleagues might have tried to steal it, but he told me once that he figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy, I think he called it. Had some machine that drew energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? The point is, it was going to help with the legacy. It was going to make hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. God knows, that's something we need. Do you know what they call those empty little babies in Ondra's gift? No, tell me. They call them buoys, because so many of them are found floating face down in the water. These are mad times. Anyway, Master Azo had scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copper Lane. He was so excited. And then the next day he was locked in his office, turning away visitors, I heard. And he stopped seeing patients. I don't know exactly what happened, and I don't have the heart to ask him, but I'm glad they're letting him treat people again. Do you know where I might find Azo? I think I've seen him around today. Have you checked the laboratory? It shares a wall with his office. He's been spending most of his time there lately. Have any of the other patients been acting unusual? Well, there's Batixa, who relives a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Edelman, who they said only has half a soul and who was found collecting the faces of others because he believed his own to be a false one. Graham, he speaks in speaks in a language that no one understands and wails at night sometimes. Different from the normal behavior, I mean. Well, yes, I suppose, but nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Azo let us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy and would be escorted to the laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward was as our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me it's gotten quieter over this there since it started. It's Graham I seek them. It's Graham I see them taking in the most. He struggles, but he always was a bit of a wild one. Would I be able to visit the North Ward? They like to keep them separate. I don't know that I've ever seen the gods allow a visitor, just Master Azo. You might ask him. Very sympathetic. He's very sympathetic. Why are you in here? Behind in her hair, her cheek flushes. I don't want to say. You'll think less of me. I'm listening. The last few years haven't been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I tried not to think of it as a person, of it as personal. I lost my husband and both boys in the Saints' War. My daughter, the legacy took her before she was ever mine. I may do. What else can you do? I moved into a tiny place in Ondra's gift, got by mending clothes, and on the kindness of strangers when I had to. But I was surviving with her, and the gods were watching over me. I could live with that. The one day this noble woman comes in, wants this fancy gown fixed, gorgeous thing, this shade of blue I'd never seen before. Only I had. I looked at it and it reminded me of something. I had what they called an awakening. I remembered being a noblewoman myself in another life. People doting over me, men doting over me. Me, the best food, the most beautiful home, all the things you'd never dare to dream of. They were mine. It was poison knowing that. All those things I had that I'll never have in this life. It did something to me. My food started to taste rotten. The walls in my little room seemed to close in and around me. I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. It was that break into an estate and start. It was that or break into an estate and start ordering servants around. It seems like such a silly thing to worry about. You don't have to tell me, but I can get past it. And I started to wonder, did the gods choose this life for me? And if so, what terrible thing must I have done to deserve it? Let's talk about something else. Yeah, well. man who waits. Almost basically clear. It's in here. Doors. Okay. Key. How can I open that door? Knock off. Okay.
Following your lead. Following your lead. Right away.
Okay.
Hey there.
Okay, there. There's another room. Patient.
Keeping an eye out.
I'll give it a try, at least. As requested.
Ooh, one-handed. For night. $18 to $26. Wow. Compare. Okay, 18 to 26, 17 to 24. Accurate versus deflection, 20. 3DR bypass. Occasionally attacking the same target as an ally. Plus 25 damage when attacking the same target as an ally. Damaging 3 plus 45 damage. Wow. Okay. Let's use that.
Hey there.
I'll give it a try, at least. As requested.
DRPS. Why do I have that on? Okay. Minus 50 stun duration, minus 50 knockdown duration, plus 50 defense while stunned, 50 defense while prone. Wow. Push that for now. And then that. Perception. Okay. Oh, there's a bit of armor for him. What's this? DR5. That's intelligence. And then it's just fine. It's just fine. Okay.
Yeah?
How may I help?
A round-faced, balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
Ethelmore told me you're not supposed to be doing experiments. I heard you were demoted. How did this happen? I back access to the north. I'm looking for an expert on awakening. I don't have the time to give you directions. Go bother someone else. I'd like it. Out of the question. Those patients are in isolation for a reason. I've seen your records. I know what you're doing.
Those are private. You have no right.
He balls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger, a growl simmering beneath his breath and deep scowls compressing his
Fine.
face.
Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
He pulls a heavy key from his pocket and nearly slams it down on the floor before handing it to you. Ethel Moore told me you're not supposed to be doing any experience anymore. Yes, well, Ethel Moore hasn't done much good for anybody since he had his soul moved to an inanimate object, so I failed to see why I should let that sway me. If animancers all followed the commands of their leaders, where would we be? We'd all be backward and willfully ignorant as raiders. We would know nothing about life or death, or even ourselves. We would be lost in the dark with no clue as to why. I never thought I'd find myself in agreement with a statue, but Ethel was right about this fellow at least. He sneers at as though how easily ambition masquerades as prudence. I'll bet he's fooled even himself. You toy with things beyond your comprehension.
Are you from Rayed Ceres? Are you Widewin himself, risen to smite me for my heretical belief in learning who I am and why I exist? Please. You are afraid because men have taught you to be afraid. Because they were taught to be afraid. These things are only beyond our comprehension because of the fears of people like you. Who will solve Widewin's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an animancer, or it will be no one at all.
Have you tried your experiments on any other subjects? Oh, I have, yes. No point in lying about it. Now that Elmore is involved, I asked for volunteers from our patients and a few brave souls came forward. I was very close at one time to a breakthrough. They understood that. They understood their sacrifice would mean something. I heard you were demoted. How did this happen? Azra's nostrils flare and he bares his upper teeth more broadly. That's none of your concern. Did one of the others put you up to this? Ordmer, the smug weasel. Things went wrong. Everything. I don't know how. I'll never know. He spits on the floor as if to remove a bitter taste from his mouth.
Hey there.
I think I see something.
Wow.
I'll stay out of sight.
Patient. Oh, that did be more.
Yeah? Hey there.
Okay. Thundering sky, rain or blood, innocent must down. Must down. This man has the look in his eyes of a haunted animal, and at your approach he staggers backward to the far corner of the cell, halfway appearing as though he would climb the walls if it would get him further away from you. He cries out, a bizarre primal utterance like nothing you've heard. I need to ask you something. Questions. Graham looks at you blankly. It's unclear whether he understands you or not, but as a panic, he's momentarily subsided. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words that come out are half-formed, as though his tongue were cut out. They are impossible for you to discern. If needed, there are words. If indeed there are words at all. The mutilation of animatic, crueler than any torture to disfigure the soul. Let us return the favor to the animancers of this shit heap. As we run experiments on you against your will, didn't he? He looks at you with uncertainty, slowly, tentatively. He steps closer to the front of the cell, and as he does so, for the first time, you can perceive his soul within your ken. It is misshapen, as though maimed by some jagged instrument, and large expanses of it have been gouged out entirely. You feel no barriers of resistance. If you wanted to, you could look further into Graham's soul. Oh, can't say it. You project out toward the maimed soul in front of you, merging with it, its confusion and fear becoming yours, and it whisks you into its depths. You're in your cell. A key turns, the door creaks open, and on neglected hinges. Thoughts come into you into waves, incomplete, broken, fearful. Standing at the door is a round, balding man. His upper teeth and pointy nose remind you of a rat. He beckons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else in your mind? It is a single word, and the word is no. But it dissolves before it reaches your lips. You press against the back wall, cornered. You cry out. In darkness, you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks into the room carrying a lit candle, its meager flame casting long shadows across books and machinery. Straps behind your arms and legs. Cold metal circumscribes the crown of your head and the breadth of your chest. The man is sorry. He is in need of raw materials. They dismantled his work, and he needs another source. He needs to show them he was right. He thanks you. Then he turns to a knob, and you feel yourself begin to crack from within, and you feel you can feel the pieces of you torn away, like having your insides chewed by a horde of rats, and you are screaming, and a scream you can barely hear. Continue searching. Another night, heavy footsteps outside your door, coming for you. You look through the slit in your door, the flesh giant, the artificial being just outside, but facing left, facing at the end of the hall, the boy there. The boy looks with interesting at the giant, then collapses to the floor like a shed snakeskin. The giant convulses for a moment, then rights itself, turns away, and leaves. The couple from Graham's soul. Graham looks at you, still wild-eyed, but somehow more present. He nods at you, then walks back to the end of his cell.
These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets. Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
These animals are made for patients. But if all were treated like this, the Sanitarium would never survive. What did these patients do to warrant some conditions? There are just as many who come here and are cured of their ills, people who would otherwise be cast aside. I hope so. Connor takes a deep breath. You're probably right. It's just hard to see. Let's be on our way. This place gnaws at the soul. I could do that if for once you stopped talking. A willowy adolescent boy stands in the center of his cell, gawkish and stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead. The occasional blink is only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. In this state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. You close your eyes and edge forward towards the boy's soul. As you near, a sudden melee comes over you. You are cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath, as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one. a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunging into some interminable abyss of thought and memory. You are standing in a cell now, the same cell in a sanitarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath a stone archway. It makes its usual rounds. The same stops every time. The misbegotten child of disponent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You are rushing toward the golem, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly, you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem shell and overtake the soul implant within, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in the new vessel. You are strong again. You step heavy-footed down the corridors, unheeded by the other constructs and scrutinized only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at last to an office piled with books and scribbled papers and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hand upon a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work bending wires and unsettling ailments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle into place again, you are outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd, stacked high above you on the tiered seats of an amphitheater. You are acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl. But this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-headedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous. Unlike the others, this one has no soul of its own. The man speaks, and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. Bear witness, he says, and he pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow. But the crowd apprehension quickly gives way to awe as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts the entire theater aglow. He opens a valve, and the glow crawls through a tube along a length of copper wiring that runs to a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and settings and playing puppeteer for hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark, and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back up at the crowd. Behold, he says, but there is obviously hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take the plodding step forward, then another and another. You look up at the man, giving him the eye contact of which no hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. How do you feel? He asks the volument for the crowd, and this is the moment. At the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hands outstretched, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down into the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panicked screams from the crowd. And by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart from the cause in search of another unsuspected host who could put their faith in animancy now. You are pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle at least on a room you have seen before, expensive with a tall device encasing an Ardra monolith at its center. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and the one catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There is no mistaking now that it is the soul of the man who caused your awakening that gazes out from the borrowed husk, a watcher. You made me into a watcher, I need you to undo it. I believe we share a common past. I'm just looking for some answers. Not just a warden, someone who'll break those frail little legs of yours if you don't do exactly what I tell you to. Let's go for number 2. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems, for that moment, that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, then seems to think better of what he was about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look, your hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backward with a sterling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly he slumps forward. Come at me, boy.
Brave thou Philoth.
And let's go. Shape change. Shoot. You can start off. Oh, let's wait. Cast that. You can cast that. There. Yes. You already have something to do. You just need to chant and shoot. Attack. Okay. Now you can do that. You can activate some more armor, and you can no, you guys fight in front. You lot. Cost that requires second wind. No, not second wind. Thank you.
I'll teach you a lesson!
Wow.
Sure.
I was dead already. What an idiot. What an idiot Ghana is.
Light, flame, and sound. Repeat for yourselves.
Nothing. I am gonna place my own character. I wanna actually respec him into mechanics because I am gonna get rid of Kana and then I don't have anyone in mechanics. So I'm definitely gonna respec him when we get to another inn again.
Brave
You have a wand.
Yeah? That's it!
And you also have a wand. There's not room for...
Show him how it's done! Die!
That looks like it hurt.
What?
Yeah?
Brave.
I think let's first go to that guy before we exit, because I'm being attacked by everything at this moment. What have you done? You have been experimenting on patients against their walls, mangling themselves. I have witnessed it with my own eyes. As his face changed from a little color as that. How could you possibly... Look, it had to be done. Ethelmore and the others, they took everything from me. Everything when I was this close. I had to know. Had to know where I failed and why. Imagine the value I'd be if I'd succeeded. I had something that could make all those hollow infants into something like a real person. And with a few more patrons and a few years research, who knows? No one has come this close to that with a legacy. It's why I have to continue, why I have to risk everything where you're working in secret. It's why you have to lie to Ethelmore for me. Tell him you've cleared me of all suspicion. I'm going to expose you for what you've done.
Then I can't let you get in my way either.
Goodbye. You are gonna die that now. You will be dying.
Brave thou shalt not believe.
Easy claps. As I said, I'm closer to a breakthrough. I found an ample source of this essence now, and the vessels have responded positively to infusion with the proxy. Human trials are the next logical course. North Ward patient bracket Graham. Subject is a male, approximately early 30s, powers of speech. Oh, okay, I've seen that one. Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, the patients are
Brave thou shalt
white now. What?
Brave thou shalt
Show him how it's done! Die!
Brave thou shalt
Where does all these summons come from, though?
Hey there.
Oh, I didn't go in there. Oh man, that means I missed some stuff.
I'll take a peek.
But I've already searched this. Oh, I read, I never took it. I've got 11 days on that. So the shop is barracks completed, merchant craft or building craft hall. So providing you with weapons and armor and merchant as well as dexterity both. Providing you with a weapons and armor merchant. Oh, I've got that as well. Artificer, also building it will allow you to buy traps there. It will allow you to purchase scrolls from a priest. Intellect bonus. So nothing. Okay. Anyone else wanna fight me? The head warden must be told what's going on down here. Okay. What's this one? Which is still there? Okay, yeah. Let me get rid of the river. Okay. What the blaze happened down here? You were given permission to ask questions. I had things under control until I killed the leaden key spy, at which point he possessed a flesh construct. You finish your explanation, the Ethelmore breaks in silence. I have read accounts of people in history who could do what you described. The accounts are few and brief and never reliable. Some go as far as to suggest that they are all the same person. If truly such a person was here among us, plotting our ruin, would that I had a body again and could be of some real use in our time of need. I fear what the future may hold for this place. I'm grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was loss of innocent life. We very nearly had another scandal on our hands. What of Ozzo? What part did his experiments play in this catastrophe? I confronted Ozzo. I was forced to kill him. He groans in disgust. Such a waste. There was none more gifted working here. In time, I hoped to rehabilitate this image, but a mind like his, so full of ideas, leaves little room for patience. I would require move more into the matters, but in truth, you have done this institution a favor. Were his transgressions ever to reach a public, there would be a terrible uproar. I was blind to have trusted him a second time. His tone takes an ominous quality that reverberates all around you. I trust you will be more cautious in future.
Gods keep you.
Anything anew? Okay, bye. Okay. Oh, it's got that. Wait, the druid can also cast spells. I can use him as a spellcaster. Okay, I've done that. I've already broken that place. Let's go to Hadrid. I can't remember who Hadrid was.
Well met, friend.
Beg your pardon, I have a message for you. You have been summoned to Hadrid House, where Lady Webb wishes to meet with you as soon as possible. And here I thought the locals were exaggerating about Dunred Row. Seems like your names come up in some important meetings. I hope nobody was shouting it at the time. How did you know where to find me? Well, it's Lady Webb. She knows everything. Tell me about Lady Webb. You do not know Lady Webb. She's, well, no one's seen her exactly in a long time, but she's the mistress of Dunred Row. Dunred, whatever, has been for as long as anyone can remember. He pauses, eyeing passers-by with suspicious quietly. He continues. She's supposed to be older than anybody, and she never leaves her room. Some say she wasted away, and she's just a pile of bones kept animated by dark magics. She's still at it, but anyone can tell. Learning things, keeping us safe, pulling the strings behind the throne too. It's said, has a ring of ciphers doing her bidding, telling her everything that goes on. You do wrong in this country before go asking the gods for forgiveness, but you ask Lady Webb first. Was Dunred Row. A whole mess of ciphers run out of Hadrid House. They make it their business to keep the peace, but they don't like you to see them to do it. Problems in the city have a way of going away. Problems in the city have a way of going away on their own, and when that happens, you can make a pretty good guess as to why. Where can I find Hadrid House? It's just over there, my lord, the southwest corner of Brackenbury. You'll find the lady upstairs. Very well. I was going there anyway. Was literally on my way there before I got so rudely interrupted. Older robed man. Oh, it's that guy again. It's the spirit that just awakened the golems and stuff. As you near the apparition, you are overcome suddenly by a powerful anxiety that sits like a stone in your stomach. The feeling is not quite real, the recollection of an emotion rather than an emotion itself. It ranges your insides nevertheless. The apparition brow is tensed, a look of concern plain across its face.
The other missionaries say you have been neglectful of your duties.
My mind is elsewhere.
Oh? And what troubles you?
Your face. The pain in your stomach deepens, and you feel for a moment as though you are about to be sick. Your mouth has gone dry. Forgive me, Eminence, I wish to leave the order. The man folds his fingers together and presses them to his mouth, thoughtful.
You have been an apt student, and your convictions have inspired those around you. May I ask what has changed to make you feel this way?
The people were intended to convert. They committed unspeakable acts, sacrifices, mutilation. The apparition exhales slowly, and its lips press together, a sympathetic report in its eyes. It places its hand on your shoulder.
These are the ways of the heathen world.
Surely the gods would do better to destroy us all at the start and start anew.
Perhaps they would. It may come to that one day. This is why we must not fail. The heathens are beyond the gods' reach. They do not know better. We are tasked with delivering them to the gods, so that the gods may heal their souls.
Is such a thing possible?
I have seen it with my own eyes. You will see it too, if you choose to remain. There is no greater calling than the one we have chosen. Neither words, nor wealth, nor battle will end this suffering. Only the gods. Will you give them that chance?
The knot in your stomach seems to loosen all at once, and the anxiety is replaced with something else entirely. Something warm and soothing, and it's something you know you can never repay. As the vision fades, you start to become cognizant as of the many odd looks aimed in your direction. Your last response echoes in your mind. I will. There's no one around to give me funny looks. It's nighttime. They're sleeping. Okay, she's upstairs, so I'm looting everywhere else. Oh, I can't. Downward agent, Curran.
Hail and well met.
The Orland man is surrounded by books and scrolls. His wiry hair stands nearly on end, and his ears prick up as you approach. You carry whispers, Kate Noir, Gilded Veil, old voices indeed. How did you know? The Orland's grins, revealing a row of dagger-pointed teeth as a cipher. It's my job to know these things. You carry a whiff of ancients. What else can you tell me? His ears twitch downward. Not as much as I would like, unfortunately. My duties for the Lady Web require me to focus my talents elsewhere. He regards a table piled with scrolls. What brings you to Dunwood Row? Show him Penhelm's affidavit. Is this affidavit real? It's signed by you. He holds the page but seems to stare through the words as if something woven in the fabric of the paper. Curran bares his pointed teeth. I remember Penhelm, a preying peacock of a man, his mouth dry and hands moist. When I told him he was a sole descendant of an Adirian general, one who'd fought against Hadrid's rebellion. He scans the affidavit, a forgery and not the first I've seen. He hands it back to you, but I've no time for the knights and their obsession. Bring this to his commander, Cliver, and show him the seal. He points to the wax stamped by his forged signature. If he compares it with another, he should be able to spot the difference. Aloth gazes flickers to you. Doom a man for the soul the gods gave him seems rather unfair. I was invited here by Lady Web. Curran cocks his head to one side as if trying to get a better look at you. Forgive me, she doesn't take many visitors, but the ones she does invite are a fascinating lot. I've always marveled at her choices, nothing in common to my eyes. But her sight is far keener than mine. I wonder what it is she sees. Her room is upstairs, the one with guards up front. The city may not understand her value, but the Duke certainly does. I don't understand what that word is. That Duke or Duck or whatever, because Duke is D-U-K-E, is it not? It looks like though you could use some help. So many secrets and trails in the city. You have to but turn a corner to find a fresh trace of something stolen or someone missing. He flicks an ear. Unfortunately, we haven't the time to investigate them all. I am supposed to be working on other matters, but my mind still lingers on a few recent cases. Curse of a cipher to be ruled by the whims of curiosity. Tell me about these cases. One case or three, depending on how you look at it. He taps his scrawled fingers together. 3 weeks and a disappearance at the end of each. Some might call it coincidence, I call it a clue. Lady Webb knows you, trusts you, so shall I trust you too. So long as our interests are aligned. I'll look into it. Where should I start? He grins, razor-tipped teeth showing between his lips. Copper Lane, Andra's Gift, and Brackenbury, of course, to talk to the ones who reported disappearances. The only ones who know enough to care. Laura, Ollie, and Helga, who's missing. 2 men, 1 woman. Landry, Kendall, and Cora. Tell me about Landry. Best to ask Ollie. Seems they drank together at the salty mast in Andra's Gift. Also seems that the one else knew him well enough to miss him. Tell me about Kendall. Reported missing by Elga, a dwarf who carried traces of. He closes his eyes and sniffs the air. Fine wine and young Dantes. Plenty of time and money to spend on her pleasures. Try a Brackenbury. Tell me about Cora. Sister of Laura, one of the merchants in the Copper Lane Bazaar, not the kind of person who would just disappear, it seems. Did you find any leads? Not yet, no obvious connection between the victims, which is what makes me wonder. He runs his hand along the length of the ear. Could it be animancy-related research? Always needs subjects. The less scrupulous types in particular. He pauses deep into concentration. Seems too risky for the Sanitarium, but one never knows. I wouldn't put it past them. Talk first to the people who reported our victims missing. Mayhap you will catch something I missed. Let me ask you something else. Of course, it's about missing. Okay. Tell me about your skills. I check for soul connections, looking for lost things, missing things, or troublesome things, particularly where people of power and influence are concerned. I am a cipher. In Irglanfath, we were once known as Brishelgwyn, Mind Hunters. Nice title, yes, but it wasn't until the animancers began working with my kind 40 years ago that we truly understood our powers. Now we make some of the best detectives in the world. Tracing souls, we can look at a person and see where they have been, or look at what weapon and see who has touched it. His nose twitches as he looks at you. Useful to solving crimes, as you can imagine. Okay, very well. I think I'm gonna call it here, guys. I think we did good clearing the sanitarium of craziness. In the next episode, we will go speak to the lady. We'll first finish exploring this, then speak to the lady, and hopefully move on to Andra's gift. Like I said, I am going to do this in rotation, so I'm going to get as many quests as possible, then I'm going to return. I'm going to do it in rotation until I do all the quests in Defiance Bay. So, hope you guys have a fantastic day.